Today we're going to be talking about the myth that marriage is going to make me happy. There is plenty of happiness in marriage, but to have that as a goal in life is an elusive thing to follow.
You're not making me happy, so the logic is then I need to find somebody else. And that's what we talk about, the grass is greener on the other side. And they actually call that gigs.
Grass is greener syndrome.
It's like the joke that says, like for the Latinos out there, don't be Hispanic, be his piece.
Joshua Miller. He has sent me that, and I have no idea why.
Whoever came up with that joke, excelente.
You're my sky, you're my blue. I've been sticking with you.
Welcome to the Good Love Podcast. My name is Paulina.
And I'm Josh, and here we believe that you were created for a good love and it's worth healing and fighting for.
Which is why we begin conversations and create resources so that you can experience healthy connections. So if you are single, dating, engaged, or in early marriage, this space is just for you.
Great.
Oh, wait, we have a new jingle that we introduced last podcast. So you ready, baby? Do you want to sing it with me?
No.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and welcome to the Good Love Pod with your host Paulina and Josh. Boom, boom.
Congrats. It's so good. Best jingle I've ever heard in my life.
How are you doing, honey?
It's so good. I hope that doesn't become a thing, just saying. But we'll see.
It's our opening and our closer, honey. There's no going back.
That's not always going to be that. We don't have to. There's no, like, you know, you're kind of having some fun doing it right now, but it doesn't have to continue.
It's set in motion and there is no stopping.
The people are demanding it.
They're screaming for it. Screaming. So,
Nobody is screaming for it, I don't think.
check the comments. They're vouching for it.
They're all you and your fake accounts. You don't even have fake accounts. You probably just started brand new ones and then just was like, hey,
Just for this purpose.
that jingle better stay.
I paid a few bots just for last week's episode.
Wow. Well,
I thank all of the real people who commented and said, keep that jingle. That thing is beautiful.
right. No, my week has been good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to be working more on the Good Love Co. I kind of gave some work updates last week, but I'm excited to be focusing more on all that we're doing. So it's been good.
Yeah. Me too.
And you're at your new place.
Yeah. Which I'm still having a few kind of slots left open for new clients. So special shout out, very niche demographic here. But if you are a Gen Z girly, maybe you're transitioning into career right now and that's where you're at, kind of singleness or in dating time, come through. Or if you're in early marriage, meaning your first 1 to 3 years and you guys are struggling, maybe you keep getting stuck, you're listening to some of our episodes and you know you're realizing that the solutions that we're offering are kind of not helping and you need a little bit more, go ahead and check me out. The link is going to be in the bio if you are looking for a Christian therapist that understands your worldview and is going to be able to integrate faith and psychology. And so that's my little plug.
And specifically in Texas.
Correct. If
so
you are
have to
in
be a
the
resident,
state of Texas.
a Texas resident. That's where you're licensed.
Yes. I do eventually want to get my New York license, you know.
Yeah, open that up.
But first, we're
awesome.
finishing off.
First, we're going to one step at a time.
One step at a time.
And we're going to do Texas first. So if you are any of those people and you feel connection to Paulina, there's some slots open.
Yeah.
So it'll be through the center. Do you do telehealth?
Yes, we do telehealth. Okay. So if you're located anywhere in Texas,
so you can go in person,
check that out.
And it's located in Dallas or Arlington, depending on where you're going to be stationed. Yeah, we'll keep you posted on that.
We'll put that in the bio.
Yeah, but telehealth is a good fix for that. So if you want to just do it that way, that'll be great.
Another exciting thing this week is that we started our ABC, our little alphabet dating series.
Yep. It was a great time.
Part of the reason why I really want to do that is because I feel like, you know, you'll have a nutritionist that maybe is physically not healthy, talking about like, here's how to have a healthy body, or like pastors that may preach something and they don't live it. And so I really pray that as we do the Good Love Co., that our marriage is always better behind the scenes than whatever we put out. And part of that is continuing to date one another. So we are testing out different dates for you guys, and we're going to let you know, is it worth doing? Does it lead to more connection? Or like, we're going to be rating these experiences for you guys.
Yeah, and it's ABC dating. So we're going to go through the entire alphabet.
Yes.
Starting with A. So each one is going to be creative on trying to figure out something to do with that starting letter. So
yeah, I imagine when this goes out, we'll already be doing B. So if you have any C date ideas, let us know. I'm thinking like cooking class. What else?
Cartwheeling in a park.
Cartwheeling in a park.
Yep.
I love that, honey. That sounds so romantic.
I don't know. I mean, this is the first thing that came to mind. There's lots of C things, I would imagine.
Let us know any C date ideas in the comments. Anyway, let's jump into this week's marriage myth, honey.
Yeah, so we're doing the series on marriage myths. We've done 2 already. This is the 3rd one.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you watch the other 2. They're very helpful. I think they've been great episodes.
Yeah, last week's episode was about how, you have to test before you drive, right? So the whole thought of moving in together before getting married and whether that's a good idea or not.
Yeah.
What's the first myth that we covered?
The first myth is finding your other half and that other half completing you as a person.
Correct. Which, look at the cover art for that with like the little missing puzzle piece going in. That was my husband. That was my man.
Yeah.
Another round of applause.
Me. Yeah.
Well, honey, today we're going to be talking about the myth that marriage is going to make me happy.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a really good one.
It's interesting because you always see like all the romantic movies and shows. Mm-hmm. They only show like when you are finally in that relationship and they finally find that person at the end of the movie and they make the decision. Now they're happy.
It's so annoying.
It's a happily ever after.
Yes, and there's no in between. It's either the movies that show like all the struggle to finally get to the wedding day, or it's like a marriage in turmoil. Right. There's never just the in between of a happy marriage.
Yeah, it's
usually there aren't.
Well, it's just never the reality of what a relationship is,
mm-hmm.
and
it's not the happily ever after.
And we think happily ever after and happily forever, and it's like, nope, that's not how it works. A lot of times, I think that we put so much emphasis on being happy, mm-hmm. and happy is like the end goal.
Yeah,
and so if you're not happy, there's problems. And if you are happy, that's it. That's everything that you're doing everything right. Everything is good. And we fail to kind of realize that happiness isn't necessarily the goal of marriage.
Yeah.
It's not the goal even of our walk with the Lord.
It's like even in life, I feel like happiness as a goal is just such an elusive thing. Because what you can define as happiness today can be completely different tomorrow. There is plenty of happiness in marriage.
There is. Happiness is a great and wonderful thing
to experience.
Yes.
But to have that as a goal in life is an elusive thing to follow. Because something that you think is going to make you happy, and we actually experience this all the time. We think like, when I buy that thing, when I buy this makeup, when I buy whatever, mm-hmm. I'm going to be so happy. And then you get it, and in 2 seconds, you're over it. You're over that purchase. We see this with kids all the time, right? They want the toy so bad. Yeah. And they're happy with it for 2 seconds. And then a week after Christmas, half of those toys are completely abandoned and forgotten about.
Exactly. And again, it's okay to enjoy happiness and to experience happiness. Mm-hmm. But happiness as the end goal will always be, like you were saying, elusive. It's just mm-hmm. never going to be a solid foundation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I think that going into marriage and thinking marriage is going to make me happy is only going to set you up for disappointment. Yeah,
you're setting yourself up.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times then what we do is we then put that responsibility mm-hmm. of happiness on the other person.
100%.
So now you are my source of happiness or unhappiness. And you need to make me happy. And you are setting that person up to honestly fail you, first of all. But also for yourself, like you are going to be very unhappy if you put that person on that pedestal to be that for you.
I love that, baby. And actually, I think that one of the best things that I did before marrying you, and I actually want to make a parentheses for kids of divorced parents, because, and it actually comes up in Symbis in the Save Your Marriage Before It Starts assessment.
Great assessment.
There's the people who have the resolute mindset when it comes to marriage. They're going to be married. Divorce isn't an option. And then you have the second one, which is like the romantic mindset.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot with children of divorce because they want so badly to get it right. They may be waiting for that person and, again, trying their best. But because they haven't seen a relationship modeled on the day-to-day, on the ups and on the highs and the lows, then they go into it thinking, oh my gosh, like it's going to be like this fairy tale. And that's a beautiful...
You romanticize the whole thing.
Correct. But that's not reality. And so instead of aiming for marriage to make you happy, right, which is the myth that we're talking about, if you aim to say, I want marriage to point me more to Christ.
Yeah.
You know, and actually I think that it would be helpful to read what God says marriage is for.
All right. So Ephesians 5:21 through 33 says, and further, submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. For wives, this means submit to your husbands as to the Lord. For a husband is the head of his wife, as Christ is the head of the church. He is the savior of his body, the church. As the church submits to Christ, so you wives should submit to your husbands in everything. For husbands, this means love your wives, just as Christ loved the church. For he gave up his life for her, to make her holy and clean, washed by the cleansing of God's word. He did this to present her to himself as a glorious church without spot or wrinkle or any other blemish. Instead, he will be holy. She will be holy and without fault. In the same way, husbands ought to love their wives as they love their own bodies. For a man who loves his wife actually shows love for himself. No one hates his own body, but feeds and cares for it, just as Christ cares for the church. And we are members of his body. As the scriptures say, a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife, and the two are united into one. This is a great mystery, but it is an illustration of the way Christ and the church are one. So again, I say each man must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband.
Which nowhere in here does it say, hey, and in marriage, aim to be happy with each other. And in this way, you will fulfill the purpose that God has for you. Like, it just doesn't talk about happiness at all.
Yeah, and it's not just like it is a reflection because God is consistent all the way through. Like Jesus didn't say, pick up your cross and you'll be emotionally fulfilled and you'll be happy following me. No, he actually says that there's going to be trials and tribulations. Pick up your cross. Like there's that sacrificial part of who we are, that it's not just about my happiness. And happiness, if it's all about my happiness, how self-centered that ends up being, and not following God and what we have to do in marriage, for example.
The interesting thing, though, is that as we, let's say, sacrifice for one another, sacrifice how? By not being selfish, by not just being self-centered and just thinking about what I want at all times.
Yeah.
We actually end up attaining happiness along the way.
Right.
And it's like, what I love about that is right now, right, as we sit and watch like series and we just binge them, or we just go on our phones, or we just buy things and get these dopamine hits, what ends up happening? We end up getting completely depleted of our dopamine reserves, right? And we end up not well, like just in this numb state, versus people who receive their dopamine by getting in a good exercises, how dopamine is meant to be, experienced, right? After accomplishing something, after doing something difficult. Like that's literally how our brain is meant to work, right?
Right, your reward system.
Exactly, your reward system. And so I just think that yeah, if the goal is to just be happy, you're going to end up disappointed every single time.
Yeah.
And happiness changes all the time, which is why in the Bible, like, it just never says, and I will make you happy. No, it talks about the joy of the Lord.
Sure.
That is our strength and is not something that comes and goes, right? You can have joy in any circumstance.
Yeah, in the worst of places, in the worst of circumstances. And I would just say again, like, what happens then is that if my pursuit is happiness and I'm not happy, I will tend to probably blame the other person that I'm with.
Yep.
You're not making me happy.
Exactly.
And that is a very, very bad way to be viewing your spouse, because your spouse their responsibility is not to make you happy. That is not really the primary goal. Now, me as a loving husband towards you, I want to make you happy. I want to do my best for that. But I will not make you happy all the time. There's going to be a lot of times where I make you unhappy, right? Where I do something that annoys you, that I do things that are like, why is he doing that? Or like, he was mean to me that way. He was hungry and he spoke to me in a bad way, or whatever the case might be. You know, like, that responsibility, if you would put that on me, is like you're putting me in the pedestal spot, on the top spot where God has to be.
I love that, baby.
And that is something that is not okay, because even if you put God on the top spot, right, and he's the top priority in your life, he himself his whole mission is not to make you happy. It's to make you more like him. And sometimes that requires some pruning of branches and some things that maybe we do not like.
That's exactly right.
And it's not going to make you happy, but on the long term, you're going to experience happiness, but you're also going to experience joy. Because the more that you're like him, the more joyful you're going to be, because that's the fruit of the Spirit.
So to everything that you're saying, baby, which is so well said, before we got married, we read this book called Sacred Marriage. Subtitle is actually, What If God Designed Marriage to Make Us Holy More Than to Make Us Happy? Which is really what we want to submit to you guys today. Like, what if the goal of marriage isn't to make you happy, but is for something greater than happiness today, which is so momentary, right?
Yeah.
And I was just kind of skimming through it in preparation for this episode. And I read this quote on page 27. Highly recommend this book because it prepared me for, like, marriage is going to be hard. And so I came into it like, you know, armor up. And I was like, wait, no, this is fun. And I think it's better to do that. I think it's better to err on that side than to err on the side of like, oh my gosh, it's just going to be rainbow and butterflies all the time. And then you come in and you're like,
right.
You know what I mean?
It helps you to have realistic expectations.
So let me go ahead and read this because I'd love to kind of just talk through it with you. So it says, I believe that much of the dissatisfaction we experience in marriage comes from expecting too much from it. Though marriage is an amazing institution that reflects God's creative genius, when we want to get the largest portion of our life's fulfillment from our relationship with our spouse, that's asking too much. God didn't design marriage to compete with himself, but to point us to himself. Yes, without a doubt, there should be moments of happiness, meaning, and a general sense of fulfillment. And of course, seeking God together through our marriage is certainly fulfilling in itself. But my wife can't be God, and I was created with a spirit that craves God. Anything less than God, and I'll feel an ache.
Ooh, beautiful. Incredible.
Let's go, Gary.
What's his name?
Gary Thomas. Let's go, Gary Thomas. I think that that's perfect because it's like, why would God create something to compete with himself, to be our ultimate portion? Like, why would he create marriage and you to be my ultimate portion when everywhere in scripture says, I am a jealous God. Like, I, love the Lord your God.
Have no other gods
have
before
no
me.
other gods before me. So then why would he create this thing to replace himself?
That would show you, that's an immediately like a red flag right away. That should be a warning sign. If that is happening, then there's priorities and things that are out of order. And when things are out of order, they will never work. So in that... And you'll be unhappy.
You will be unhappy.
Actually, so it ends up being that way.
Exactly, because you're putting the pressure for an eternal being, yourself, an eternal being that craves more than what this world offers on another imperfect person that's never going to be able to provide that for you. It makes me think even of that quote that goes around like, I'll be your peace, or like be his, like girls wanting to do that for their guy and vice versa. And it's like, girl, how you going to be his peace? Like you are imperfect. You are going through your own things. Like you can't be anybody's peace. Like, what do you mean?
That's exactly right. It's like the joke that says, like for the Latinos out there, don't be Hispanic, be his peace.
Joshua Miller. He has sent me that and I have no idea why.
Whoever came up with that joke, excelente.
He has his little curly curls coming out. Don't make me have you insert a picture of you before me.
Anyway, we're going to continue.
Could you imagine?
We're going to continue. I'm sorry I kind of derailed it, but that idea of being his peace, being that person's peace is only going to come from one source. True, lasting peace. Just like true, lasting joy. Right? It's we seek after the fundamental, foundational things that need to be there. And having an imperfect person be that source is just never going to work.
So here's the thing. If then the goal of marriage is going to make me happy, and you arrive to marriage and of course it's not going to fulfill you because you were like, only God can fulfill you, and truly make you, not even make you happy at all times. Truth be told, he promises joy, not happiness, which is different.
Yeah.
Then what? Then that means once I'm unhappy in this relationship, it's time to go. Like, that's it. Irreconcilable differences.
And I swear, you hear that all the time.
Yeah. We just weren't happy anymore.
Oh man, we just lost that spark. Oh, we're not happy like we used to be. And like that whole, it's just such a sad thing to hear when people say like, oh, well, we just are not in love like we used to be. And we're not, I'm not happy anymore. And that's the reason that people literally will break up. It's based upon your happiness.
The wild thing is with that too, honey, is that, and I can't remember exactly what study this is. That always makes me think of one of our friends. I was like, are these real studies? Yes, they are. Yeah. I'll have to find it. But it was the study that showed that people who reported being dissatisfied in their marriage, right, and unhappy, when they were like re-surveyed 5 years later, a grand majority of them were much happier compared to people who ended the marriage, right?
And left to go find that happiness somewhere else.
Exactly, right? The idea that the grass was going to be greener on the other side.
Yeah.
And yet it wasn't. And we've talked about this, right? About how we replicate cycles. And so here's the thing. In marriage, one of the beautiful things is you're confronted with what those cycles are. Oh my gosh, when this happens, I feel this way. Now, instead of pointing it to him, Lord, what is this showing me about me? Right. Oh, this is a growth opportunity for me, for Paulina, in this. And it has nothing to do with you half the time.
Well, and that's the mature way to view it. That's the correct way to view that situation. A lot of people say, well, I'm not happy. I've put that responsibility on you. You're not making me happy. So the logic is then I need to find somebody else. Right. And that's what we talk about. The grass is greener on the other side. And they actually call that gigs. Grass is greener syndrome. And that is a syndrome that has been studied in the psychological worlds. And basically, it's pretty simple. People who are constantly looking at other things and, well, if I just reach this, or if I just had this type of partner, if I would, over there, if I had what they have, I would be happier. Even like it's true even with jobs. It's the same thing. Yeah. Constantly looking at other jobs. If I just had that, I'd be happier. If I were over there, I'd be happier. And it's just constantly looking to other things to make you happy versus settling in on what you have and enjoying and being content and happy and grateful for what it is that you have. That type of person that's constantly grass is greener on the other side is an unhappy person. They're not satisfied. They're not content. They're not happy in their situation.
Right. And it's going to translate to all the areas of your life. Oh, when I get this car, then I'm going to be happy. And then you're going to get that car and you're going to be thinking about the immediate next upgrade. And you're going to live that way your whole life.
Your whole life. Nothing will ever fulfill that.
Or you can confront it and say, no.
Just like you said.
This is a commitment that I made. This is a covenant that I made. This is beyond happiness. So Lord, what are you showing me right now? What are you growing in me right now?
Yeah.
Okay, let me lock in.
Or even like what you were just saying, like that you're confronted with those cycles. Like, I am unhappy. Why am I unhappy? And realizing the
What is it
deeper
really?
meanings behind it.
Yes.
Then that's what a mature person will end up doing. Not based upon your emotions and feelings, but like what the truth is. Get to the root of what's going on.
I think the second part to that, honey, is when we're thinking that the grass is greener on the other side, that happiness is the goal, then we're being led by our emotions. And our emotions are actually great indicators of something, right?
Yeah.
When you're angry, that's giving you information. When you are sad, when you are happy, those are wonderful indicators of something, right? But they aren't the end all be all, right?
No.
If we did everything that we want to do in our anger, where are we going to end up, right?
Yeah.
Same with every emotion.
Every emotion.
Actually, I'm an emotionally focused therapist. That's what I focus in.
EFT.
I heard somebody silly once say, "Ooh, there's these therapists out in the world that think that everything is about emotions." And if you know me personally, you know that that isn't me. So that's not it at all.
That's not what emotionally focused therapy is.
That's not what it is at all. However, when we are only led, so as an emotionally focused therapist, I really care about the emotions that are coming up. I care about what's coming up for you and your body and all of that. And that's part of the process that we walk through. But if we are led by our emotions, meaning happiness means I'm meant to be with you, unhappiness means it's
You're the
over.
wrong person with me. Yeah.
No person is ever going to make you happy all the time. So you are setting yourself up for unhappiness forever. And I think in scripture also, Proverbs 25:28 says, a man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls.
Right. Meaning, and the people without self-control a lot of the times are the ones who are led by emotion. So you're constantly just like allowing external factors come into your city walls, your soul, and just wreak havoc and just do whatever they want with whatever you are going through in the moment.
Yeah.
So when you're happy, you're good, you're making good decisions. When you're sad, you're making horrible decisions just to cope with everything. You don't have any self-control over it at all.
Yep.
And that's what it is. Like the major principle is that we don't live life based upon emotions, though we use emotions as great data points that we need to know about ourselves and know how to understand ourselves and to use those emotions in a positive, good way, but not be led and be run by it. Like happiness is an emotion.
Yes.
It's an emotion. It is temporary. It is not going to last forever. At all times, forever just happy. If you force yourself in that way, you're not going to be emotionally healthy. So it's good to know those data points so that we can then use that to better our life.
And the reality is, honey, that sometimes in marriage, things that your partner does will directly affect your happiness and unhappiness as well.
Yeah.
Right? Like, man, they're doing something that's out of pocket and it's making you upset. It's making you sad. Like, that is completely fair. And that's not what we're saying, is that that's not going to happen.
Right. Right.
What we are saying is that beyond that, right, is what can God grow and teach you through that process? You get what I'm saying? And also, how can you show up for that person? That's only going to strengthen you as an individual.
Exactly.
The main point that we want to get across is if you are single or engaged, marriage is not going to make you happy. We're sorry to break it to you. we're sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
It was not designed for that.
But the good thing is that you can learn about what marriage was actually designed for and set yourself up for success.
And if you follow those things, you are going to experience happiness
Along the way. 100%.
And if you don't follow those things, it's our belief that you probably won't experience a lot of happiness.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. But I do have a question.
Yes, honey.
So if somebody is in a relationship and they would say, I'm just unhappy in this marriage right now. I am not happy and I haven't been happy for a little while and we've been married for a little bit. What do I do? What am I like? What's the first steps?
Yeah, that's a great question, honey. I think that there's layers to it. Like, is that unhappiness just like, man, we don't have that spark like we used to? Like, I think that there's different categories. First of all, did you guys start neglecting your relationship? At what point did you maybe fall into that roommate phase, or you guys haven't been giving each other the attention and the devotion that you used to? Start there. Like, start the date nights if it's more of a mild case,
so
right?
You're talking more about like the practical side.
Yes.
Of like, if you guys have lost your spark and
Yes.
if you're not feeling that spark anymore.
Yeah. If part of it is because you've just neglected, you've kind of fallen into that roommate phase.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, like, have that conversation. I miss when you know, we used to do this and the other, because I think that happens, and that these are conversations that have to happen. I think one of the things that we do as well is having our annual vision retreat, like just reconnecting, what is God calling us to, and that kind of a thing. But I think beyond that, have you asked the Lord recently what he's inviting you into in this season? Because if you're out of his design for you, you're not graced for what you're doing, you're going to be very unhappy. So is he calling you right now to be at home? Is he calling you into a new job? Is he like, what's going on? Because if God is trying to like do things within you and you're like delaying that, then you are no longer graced for what you're doing, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And he's like trying to pull you and to invite you into something.
Sure.
Like, take that step. It's going to be worth doing that. And he's going to grace you for that.
Right.
You know, and so it goes back to not putting on your partner the responsibility of making you happy. They can't do that.
So then I guess a good question would be, or like a good step would be, is to ask yourself and be honest. Mm-hmm. Am I relying on my happiness? Am I putting that on my partner and relying on them to do that?
And I'm making my partner the scapegoat.
And then I'm using them as why I'm not happy.
100%.
There's a deeper reason why you're not happy.
I'm not happy because he's just never around and this and the other. Yeah, I can understand that makes you unhappy. But beyond that, like, you should still be able to find joy and spark and purpose outside of your partner.
Right. Exactly. And I also like that you even said the practical side of things of like, what were you doing? So like, if you lost that spark and you're just like, how do we gain that spark again? Because we just lost what we had at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, and we talked about this last episode, that idea of the honeymoon. There is a time period where it's not going to be a honeymoon. Like, you just oversee all the bad things. Everything is just like rose-colored glasses, like you mentioned. There is going to come a time when things get a little bit more serious and there's not going to be that honeymoon phase. I love what you were saying when it comes to, you know, how do we go back to get that spark? And it's just like when Jesus is talking to the church in Revelation. It's like, you lost your first love. How do you get that back? You turn back and then do the things that you once did. Mm-hmm. And that's a pretty good example. I would say that's a good way to try to build that back up. Mm-hmm. What did you do back in the day? Yeah. You wrote those love letters. You went on dates. You did all these little things. But then life gets in the way and you start doing you kind of get into a rut of things and you neglect that. Oh, we're good. We're doing great. And you just, we don't go on that date night. Oh, now it's been 2 weeks. No, now it's been 3 weeks. And we kind of neglect doing those things that we used to do. Yeah. So if you want to pick that back up practically, like what you were talking about, I think that's a good way. It's just start doing those things again and see what happens.
Yeah. We hope that we really got the point across, because truly that reframing will change so much. And again, we'd rather you step into marriage, or if you are already in marriage, that you would have that reframing of like, wait, no, the goal was never for this person to make me happy or for marriage to make me happy.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is seeing Christ more, being more like Christ.
Helping
God
each
would
other
never
get
give
into
me
that, yeah.
something in this world to replace himself.
Right. Exactly.
And yet it looks like I may have placed this person in the place of God or what God is only able to fill within me.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like he uses marriage to point us more towards him.
Yeah.
And to draw us closer to him and to become more like him. That's where you see like iron sharpening iron, you know, it's like, what's the whole purpose behind any of those things? It's to make us more like Christ. Mm-hmm. And that's the beautiful thing about marriage, is that we become more like him throughout the process.
To kind of finish that quote from earlier, on page 27 again, it says, now this is where it gets really interesting. Looked at in this light, rather than competing with or impeding our walk with God, marriage can actually point us to God. And I think that that's the point. Yeah. Like if I see our relationship as pointing me to God, I can see so many ways in which your love for me in moments when I really felt unlovable reminded me or really showed me a new level of God's love that I didn't know before our relationship.
Yeah.
Right? Seeing myself through your eyes, right?
Yeah. I love that, babe.
And then also moments when I've chosen to love you when you weren't at your best.
Exactly.
And being able to experience the other side of like, oh, that's a little bit more of how you love me. And this is just us a few years in, to think that our Heavenly Father loves us this way eternally, perfectly.
And perfectly, yeah.
What?
I know. That's a really good perspective to have. 100%. So, really good. Yeah. Well, that takes us into the next thing.
Yes.
Which is, again, this is going to be the second iteration of Reddit React.
Reddit React.
All right. And we're doing this. Why? Because y'all don't give us questions. You don't give us questions. You don't submit things or topics to talk about or something that you went through. We get it. We're still building that relationship. We're still getting to know one another.
It's all good.
It's all good. No hard feelings. But we do need this segment because we really do enjoy this. So instead of getting it from you guys, we go to Reddit. And there's an all manner of craziness that's on Reddit.
Yep.
And so I like to read through them, try to find something that's a little bit relevant to the topic. And this week we got a little bit of a doozy.
You bring the tea, honey. You really do. Do you want me to read it or do you want to read it?
I would love for you to read it.
All right. Let me get comfy for Reddit. What is it?
Reddit React.
Reddit Reacts. Did you like last week's, by the way? I'm asking the audience. Let us know.
Yeah, I loved it.
I really pray that we start getting a little more engagement in the comments. Like, if you can't tell, I'm a yapper and a dapper. Like, I want to talk with y'all. So
we love it.
All right, let's hear this.
All right, this week's Reddit React.
Okay.
She's a 27
She's
male.
a 27-year-old female.
Yeah.
My fiance, who is also 27, is perfect. ... But I've fallen out of love with him.
Oh, all I have to do literally is go on Reddit and I can find these things like instant. There's so many people writing these things.
Yup. So.
And this is a recent one too. If you look at the time.
A month ago.
I know, it's crazy.
I feel my fiance and I are no longer compatible and he is willing to be with me and change himself just so I don't leave him. He is perfect in every way, but I love him like a friend or brother.
Ouch. And they're already, she already said yes because she's the fiance. This is the fiance stage.
Okay, I'm going to read the whole thing. My fiance and I have been together 5 years. We met right as COVID hit and ended up quarantining together and haven't been separated since. Check out our last podcast on cohabitating before marriage. We've never had much in common, to be honest. We have entirely different interests and ways of expressing our emotions, but I've always just talked it up to opposites attracting. We are known as that couple that has never had a fight. Ooh, red flag.
That's a flag.
Red flag. A couple that's never had a fight. He is a huge people pleaser and does anything to make me happy. He does everything I want and never offers his own opinions. His mom died when he was very young, and his father worked too much to ever get him any help. He still struggles with this daily, and I feel like he has been emotionally stunted and stuck at the internal age he was when his mother passed. Listen, these girlies, though,
they think they're all
they
these
be
therapists.
psychoanalyzing.
Yeah. Listen, lady, you're not a therapist.
She
Relax.
said he's emotionally stunted and stuck at the
It'd be
eternal
like, oh,
age.
he's emotionally stuck.
TikTok University, okay? He sulks rather than expressing himself. Typically, the sulking revolves around me doing anything independent of him or my attention being given to anyone else, such as my siblings or cats. He will walk away and sulk in the corner to make me feel guilty. But also, like, he walks away and sulks in the corner when
he acts like a cat.
When she's giving the cat attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
He does everything for me. I never have to worry about dinner, laundry, dishes. He dotes on me, hand and foot. And people tell me I'm incredibly lucky, but I find myself when talking about how great or what I love about him, I only talk about how much he does for me in my day-to-day life and how kind and considerate he is. There is no emotional connection. We don't have things we like to do together. We rarely have sex, and when we do, it's because I feel bad it's been so long, and he often gets too anxious about it and has ED issues.
Oh, no.
I've found myself time and time again having to give him pep talks during, or I just give up completely and say, well, we'll try again later. It's not that I don't think he's handsome. It's just gotten to the point where I feel like I'm having sex with a friend rather than a romantic partner.
Ouch.
Ugh. All of this came to a head when I started a new job about 6 months ago. I have a normal schedule and have met some great friends who I like to hang out with. Previously, I had no friends or time to hang out with others outside of the relationship. He is stuck in a dead-end job with crappy hours, but has become comfortable with it and won't try to work upwards to improve his situation. The real kicker is I met someone at my new job.
Uh-oh.
I'm having serious romantic feelings for him, and it's really highlighting what is missing in my current relationship. I'm trying to address all of this before I end up either emotionally cheating or marrying my fiance and regretting it big time. It's interesting that one of the options isn't just ending the relationship, by the way. She says, before I either end up emotionally cheating or marrying my fiance.
Right. There wasn't
or ending the relationship is also a choice. Okay, anyway.
Wow.
I've addressed all of this with my fiance, and he is devastated.
So she told him all these things.
Whoa. He wants to change everything about himself so that I won't leave, and I don't think that's fair to him at all.
Now he's going to change oh, man.
He should be with someone that loves the things he loves and matches his energy. I know he loves me and will settle for a loveless marriage on my end for the sake of not being abandoned. What do I do? Dang. I want to read some of the top comments. What advice do you think people are giving?
I mean, I don't think people are giving horrible advice. I'm pretty sure people care, you know. I mean, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know Reddit as well. There's certain social media platforms that you don't say these things because you're not going to get great comments. But what's something that somebody says? Because I'm not sure. In this situation, this is a tough one.
Dang, love isn't a feeling, it's an action. The grass is greener where you water it.
Oh, see, it came up.
Wow. There's a lot of comments, actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think
another comment is, you break up with him. It sounds like the best time to break up with him was years ago. The next time is now. You're already emotionally cheating. Ooh. So
that's an interesting situation. Yeah. So how do we break that down? Because this is a little bit of what we discussed. Mm-hmm. She's no longer happy with him. Now she views him as a friend.
Well, tying in last week's as well with cohabitating, right, is the fact that, like, from the beginning of the relationship, you guys knew that you had nothing in common. You, like, rushed it because it was like quarantining together. So again, instead of taking the dating time to discern, you devoted yourself, and then now you're backtracking And
it's
I mean,
a little bit late now. He already proposed and you said yes.
I mean, they're not married.
They're not married yet. So that's
But can we assume, just for the sake of the podcast,
Yeah.
that they are married? Because I think in this situation, it's like, girl, you already know the answer. Like, personally, I believe, I don't know.
well, they're not married. So I would say don't pursue that.
Yeah.
Like that would be my advice. I'd just be like, hey, this is already like, you want to spend because we believe marriage is permanent.
Yeah.
So I would say to her, like, now is the time to get out, honestly. It's going to be heartbreaking. And again, the lines have already been crossed. So it makes it that much more difficult. But it should have, in an ideal situation, if everything, all else being equal, you would have seen that behavior ahead of time. You would have seen him more as a friend. But it seems like you moved in, you were together in quarantine. There's probably some sexual intimacy. All those types of things happen. Lines got blurred. Your judgment got blurred because of that.
Yeah.
And so instead of seeing him as a friend, now you see him more than that. Or at least during that time. But now those feelings faded. And now you're starting to see the reality of the situation. And so now it's going to be that much harder to end this.
Here's what I'm thinking, honey. From the beginning of the relationship, she probably stayed in it because he did all this stuff for her. People pleasing and all of that, right?
Which was enduring probably at the beginning.
But if she had from the beginning said, my role is also to serve you, right? Like if she had been framing her mind for that as in marriage, right? Because we date to marry. So, we're not just dating for like, I don't know what else.
Well, just to get sex or whatever, or fulfillment and not to be lonely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So already in that, then she would have started serving him. She would have started, hey, I'm noticing that like this stuff with your mom, like who was there to support you? Who was there to help you? I feel like he could have been in therapy a long time ago. They've been together for 5 years. And you've noticed this whole thing with his mom. You believe that he's stunted in his age. Like, why isn't he in therapy?
You're also noticing he doesn't say anything that he wants.
Right.
A person that doesn't say anything that they want is lying because everybody wants something.
100%.
So if you are with somebody or you experience somebody who's not saying anything that they want, they're not being fully honest.
That's exactly true.
And that needs to be, you need to dig into that.
Yes. So it's like you were kind of just enjoying him doing all these things for you. I hope that at some points you prioritized him and you tried to do things for him that you knew perhaps he needed or that would make him happy. But dang, I just feel like it's a really sad situation because it was this one-way street. Sad. You've taken, and now you realize like, oh, okay, like we're done here and I don't really
care to have
anything else from you.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is like, and this is what happens with marriages, all the time is like, that is a specific thing. They're no longer making me happy. I'm at work. And, this guy is making me happy. Ooh,
so many affairs happen at work.
The vast majority of affairs happen at the workplace. Why? Because you guys are working on something together. You see them mainly on the top of their game at work. Yes. You're hanging out with them. You're seeing those things. You work on something together. You're laughing. You're joking around, whatever it is. It's all novel experiences and that newness. And that other person is just the person I come back home to. Exactly.
And so let's take the scenario and assume that they were married.
Okay, let's just assume that they're married.
Because they're dating, I would say, break it off, girl. Like you.
Yeah, but let's just assume
that they're married. Yeah, that they've been married for a few years. You're assuming that this new guy at work is going to make you happy. And guess what? Like when you blow up your marriage and get with this guy, he's going to have his own stuff. Like that's just the reality of it. That's just the reality of our human condition.
The grass is greener on the other side until you realize, oh, wait, that grass also has weeds.
As Big Sean says, the grass ain't always greener on the other side. It's green where you water it. So I know we got issues, baby. True. But I'd rather work on this with you than to go ahead and start with someone new.
Nicely done.
Can I tell them what time it is?
No. No.
So with that,
Well,
yeah, honey. I mean, again, when you recognize that in marriage, it is a commitment, it is a covenant that I've made. Mm-hmm. And that's it. This isn't a question. Like, I'm going to hold to this regardless of my feelings. You will end up experiencing, first of all, just the beauty of like this commitment to one another. Like, honey, I can't wait to make it to the end of our lives and be like, look at this life that we've built and we've lived together.
Can I just say something really quick?
Yes.
Just going back to that, like that whole thing with, and this could be a whole tangent, and we can actually discuss this, probably a podcast episode of just like flags for cheating, or just like what causes cheating. And I don't know, we can go into that, but like, it's just really interesting when you're basing your happiness on somebody else, they don't make you happy, other options pop up. And you think that those other options are going to make you happy. Sometimes it's like you dive more into work, you dive into alcohol or other type of thing to make you feel happy.
Yep.
One of those things are going to be another coworker or somebody like that who's going to make you feel happy at work. But then the moment that you blow up your whole life to follow them, you realize that they're willing to get with somebody who was married. You're always going to have that in the back of your head. You're always going to feel anxious and weird and like, are they going to do this again? And what's going to happen? I don't know. And you're always going to not be better off. Like the grass is not always greener. And we see the studies that that's not always the case.
Yeah, it's
like,
usually not the case.
And the person that's constantly looking for that elsewhere is not going to be living a fulfilled and happy life.
Exactly.
So if that's a married person and they're thinking about that and they're looking at somebody else at work, let's assuming that they are married, you know, break that off. Stop. Go back to the person that you have, the one who sticks with you, who sees the worst in you, who's experienced the worst with you.
Yep.
And stick with them. Work that out. It's going to be better. Do not go to that person that's at work or whatever the case might be.
And look back at everything that you've already walked through, that you've journeyed with. You cannot replicate that. And ask the Lord to see ahead for what he has for you. You know what I mean? Like, that's always going to be worth it. And so...
And in that situation, go get therapy. If they're married, like, you got to go get therapy right away. Because he's got to deal with things and you can work through it with him.
And I will say on the other side, because we were talking about her perspective, on his side of things, he fell for the exact thing. He thought that a relationship would make him happy. He thought that a person would come in. And so he's willing to bend himself into any shape to keep that person.
For a person.
Because he's trying to heal the wound of losing his mom.
That's really good, babe.
And yet you're literally pushing away the person that you love because they're saying like, man, he's sulking every time. He can't emotionally regulate.
Yep.
He's not dealing with this stuff. Instead of him going and saying, I got to face this.
Yeah.
Because my partner, my future wife, my future husband, they are a gift, but they are not a God. They are not God.
They're not God. That's the type of behavior that you reserve for the Lord.
Exactly.
You do whatever you can to do and to follow his will and to do everything that he can.
Yep.
You don't do that for a person. You will burn yourself out. You are not going to be happy. So.
And they won't be happy either.
They won't be happy.
Isn't that crazy?
Anyway.
So that's our
second time
latest segment
there we
of
go.
Reddit Reacts. We hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed the whole podcast.
Yes,
honestly, if this isn't working and you're like Reddit Reacts get that out of here, do that at a different time, we'll listen. Maybe we'll listen. But if you love it, let us know.
Let us know. We
Is
want
this
to
something
talk
that works?
with you.
Because we want to do things that we enjoy as well. Which
Yes.
these are the types of things that we also enjoy. So
Yes.
yeah.
So thank you for watching this episode of the Good Love Co podcast. We hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, turn on the little notification so that you know that what we post,
All
which
the
is
things.
every Tuesday.
Support us. Support your new favorite couple that's doing a podcast. Every like, every share, every comment even is super encouraging.
Yes,
honestly,
it really
is.
encourages us so
Yeah.
much. So thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you.
Goodbye from the Good Love Pod with your host, Paulina and Josh.
You're my sky,